You only need to realize this if you're in crypto right now, that there is a game being played, and the more the fear and panic spreads, the more the level of manipulation begins to increase. And there are a number of flashing signals on some key charts that suggest that not all is quite as it seems, and that we could be very close to a very significant shift in how this market is moving. In this video, I'll show you exactly what the smart money doesn't want you to see. Watch this now before it's too late. Hit the like button and let's get into it. Now guys, it's obvious. Right now, crypto looks worse to the average investor than it has done in a very, very long time. Partly because the chart is pushing down to around $58,000, seemingly struggling to maintain support on this chart right now. But also if you head over to the media, you can see that there's some pretty bad news circulating around Bitcoin. On Bloomberg, the Bitcoin price has fallen to a 20-month low on MicroStrategy, rate hike fears, etc. Because Michael Saylor of MicroStrategy is apparently going to have to start selling Bitcoin in order to be able to pay dividends to his investors over the next few years, which is obviously seemingly incredibly bearish, given that MicroStrategy has been propping up the Bitcoin market over the past few years by buying heavily into Bitcoin. And when we were all thinking that the rate cuts were going to be the thing that saves us, we then start to see news about rate hike fears, which obviously causes huge amounts of panic. So it seems obvious, the market is destined to carry on much lower over the next few months. Well, it's reasonable to understand why most people think that, but then we need to ask ourselves this. Why have the Bitcoin whales been accumulating over the past 7 days more Bitcoin than they have ever done before? You can see the spike here that shows just how aggressive the buying has been. So what on earth is going on? Are these guys idiots? Is this chart even real? Should we trust the news? What should we do? Because right now it seems very confusing. Well, this is where the game that I talked about in the introduction comes in. Allow me to explain exactly how the game works by showing you the gold price. Now you see, looking at the gold versus US dollar, you can see all the way back on the 26th of January 2026, gold hit nearly $5,600 per ounce. Right now it's down at $3,900 after a pretty aggressive sell-off. And if we go to Google and we use tools here to search for the gold price news around those particular days that it was all the way up there at $5,600, you can see a number of key headlines that come in. Let's just click on the first couple. Gold price surges above $5,500. Here's why. Fund managers say that structural distrust in monetary policy is pushing gold to new highs. The price of gold has been surging, and here's why, according to fund managers. Central banks have continued to buy into gold, which has been breaking its historical yields, i.e. creating a new paradigm, a new possibility for how high the gold price could be. And lots of other news stories talking about why gold is going up and the dollar continues to fall, and why that's going to continue to happen to create a new paradigm, a new way for things to be working in the future. And if we jump across to this chart, which is over 400 years old and comes from the Netherlands and basically shows you the price of the tulip bulb back in the day, then you can start to see a few key things. It basically shows you the exact structure of how a market works, and at the top you can see a new paradigm. It comes with delusion, excitement, and all the other things that go with the top of the market. And if you go to the Wall Street cheat sheet, you can see euphoria, I'm genius, we're all going to be rich. The same thing happens at the top of markets because of the game being played. Because if you think about it, gold was in this bull market that lasted from about 2016 all the way to the top here, and it went up a huge amount, growing to an insane market cap of $30 trillion plus. And just so you understand the scale of that, right now the entire crypto market of Bitcoin and the altcoins is only worth around $2 trillion. And what all the whales and smart money needed to do was to be able to sell at the top. If they sold and there was no one there to buy it, the price would have come down far more aggressively. So they need to put out news stories to encourage ordinary people to head down to the gold shop and buy into gold, because it's quite clearly going to carry on going towards the upside, like the chart has been telling them that it's going to do. And this is the exact opposite of what is happening in crypto right now. The last of the things that we've been clinging on to give us hope, like the Clarity Act, apparently has been completely forgotten about. Michael Saylor, the one thing that was going to hold up this Bitcoin market and drive us to a new bull market, he's gone away. He started selling. He's going to crash the price of Bitcoin when he sells $2 billion or $3 billion worth of Bitcoin. And if we think about the gold price having lots of news and positive sentiment so that people will buy, right now the Bitcoin price being all the way down here is having lots of negative and worrying and scary news convincing people to sell. All while the whales, if you look at their wallets, have been loading up in crazy numbers. And the more you see stories trying to push you towards these feelings of anxiety and panic that you're going to see more downside and things are going to get much worse because of XYZ, the more you should realize that this is part of a bigger game. Obviously, right now, we know that companies like BlackRock and JP Morgan and other institutions have been buying and selling Bitcoin over the past few years. And guess what? These very companies have the ability to influence the news and media that is shown to the average retail investor out there. And this is basically like the Jim Cramer effect. Everyone always thinks that Jim Cramer's this hilarious meme, is the running joke. Jim Cramer is basically one of these media outlets. So right now, the news continues to be negative about Bitcoin to encourage more and more people to sell. And they need to make this news more and more painful, more and more scary, because the number of people who will actually sell is running out. How do I know that? Well, it's very simple. Look at how quickly the Bitcoin price fell from October onwards. Then you can see from this low that came in November, we start to get a more relaxed sell-off. Then you get from this point and you go to this one, and you can see that the level of selling pressure is really starting to die off. And in fact, once the selling pressure is completely gone, it means that the accumulation will finish and eventually prices will start to push. Ultimately, you create more and more fear and panic so that you can buy at the very best prices. Once all of that supply has been absorbed and you can't get anyone else to sell, market moves higher. So why have they decided that in and around at this price is basically the best price to be buying in at? Well, it's not necessarily decided specifically by any one person. Ultimately, it's decided by a few key things. First of all, whether you can get enough people to sell and how far that brings the price down. But another major factor that plays into that is simply the cost of Bitcoin production. See, basically, lots of miners are out there mining Bitcoin, and when they mine Bitcoin, they will typically sell it to continue to pay for their mining operations. However, at certain points throughout the history of Bitcoin, the price of Bitcoin will fall below the cost of mining an individual Bitcoin. At which point, either the miners will start to slow down and switch off their mining operations, or they will simply hold the Bitcoin that they typically sell off in order to be able to sell it for a profit slightly later on. This reduces the amount of supply and ultimately starts to tip the supply and demand model in the favor of moving back higher. And as you can see from this chart, the purple line is the production cost of Bitcoin over time. And you can see that it's basically acted as a support for the Bitcoin price. Right now, however, we are below the Bitcoin production cost. We dipped just below it on the 5th of February, all the way back then. Previously, we didn't even get below it on the FTX crash. You have to go all the way back to early March 2020, when the major COVID lockdowns got announced, to find the last time that the Bitcoin price ever really went significantly under the Bitcoin production cost. And before that, you've got to go all the way back to basically back in 2018, where the Bitcoin price did push a little bit under for about 6 weeks before then regaining itself back above that line. Right now, however, you can see that the production cost is going up. Meanwhile, the Bitcoin price sits underneath. Whenever the Bitcoin price has been under here over the years, it has been considered massively good value. And on top of that, the fact that the RSI is going up despite the price taking a new low here shows bullish divergence. It simply shows that the sellers have run out. Think about this right now. Everybody who wanted to sell has already sold through this point, through this point, through this point. Ultimately, to be able to push price significantly lower, you need to get lots more people to sell. The news and media is trying to do that, but it's really starting to struggle. Once that news and media runs out and they can't push anything more bearish into the market because no one cares anymore, they're willing to hold through the pain, then you're going to round off, then you're going to start to take a trip back in the other direction. And right now, I really don't think that we're far away from seeing this happening, because this is basically full-blown capitulation. This is what happens in the bottoms of cycles. Yes, if you look at a chart, the chart going down always makes you feel like it's going to go down forever. But believe me, it felt like that back in 2024. It felt like that again back in 2025. And each and every time you get a rebound. So whether it rebounds from this exact price or whether it plays down in and around here, I don't think that we have that much longer to wait for the bottom to be confirmed in and moving towards better times. And whilst Bitcoin may take a little bit of time to start kind of moving back towards these higher levels, where I actually think that we're going to see the most exciting growth is actually in the altcoins. And that's predominantly because of this. Bitcoin took its local high back in October 2025, whereas the altcoins versus Bitcoin haven't really had a high since back in 2021. In fact, they've basically been in this bear market ever since. However, this downtrend that's been alive for over 5 years, as you can see, is now beginning to break out. And it is forming this kind of cup pattern at the bottom of this breakout pattern. And whenever this actually begins to break, you're going to see altcoins seeing some very exciting times. And I believe that this can happen as soon as you start to see any sort of strength in Bitcoin. Here's why. See, while Bitcoin's got a lot of people in it and it takes a lot more work to scare them out the markets, coins have been scary for a very long time. In fact, since the end of 2024, when we had that mini altcoin season, altcoins in general have been pretty terrifying to hold, meaning that most of them began to bottom, at least against Bitcoin, all the way back in February 2025, which is nearly 18 months ago. You can see that the actual bottom came in 16th of June, you then had the wick down on the 10th of October, and this basically scared out anyone who wanted to sell altcoins. From there, you started to grind back higher. Smart money were buying into the altcoins, VCs, you name it, anyone who really identified where the strong ones would be. And whenever the market starts to show any signs of strength returning, many of these altcoins have started to warm up once more. Not all of them, but many of them. And we've seen this happening over the past few weeks. I actually made a video just the other day talking about my portfolio in altcoins. So make sure you go and check that out after this video so that I can explain a little bit more about different altcoins I'm holding and why. Also, in my next video, which probably goes live tomorrow, maybe the next day, I am going to make a video talking more about altcoin research and how to identify the strong projects versus the bad ones. Here's why. Right now, you can see that lots of projects got absolutely hammered and are down 90-95%. Grass, in this case, went down 96%, but any of the altcoins that can remain alive and that have money in the bank will be able to significantly grow out of where they are right now, which makes our life very easy. Because if you can identify which those coins are, and I'll show you exactly how to do that in my next video, then you can start to pick some coins that have the potential to go and run 30 or 40x from where they are right now. And if you don't believe that recoveries like this are possible, well, let's just take Render, for example. Render in 2022 fell down 96, nearly 97%, meaning that if you bought $100 on the exact day here, you would have had $3 left down here. But then Render puts in a 45x, meaning that if you didn't sell and you just held on from where you were here, actually you would have made yourself like a 55% gain. Now, obviously, if you were buying up throughout the kind of way down, DCAing in, etc., then you would have made some significant profits on the way back up. Render is a classic project that struggled in a bear market like every altcoin does, but managed to survive, had big treasury, and then if you knew that, you would have been able to get involved in it and make some serious gains on the way back up. So in my next video, I'll explain exactly how to find the projects like Render and give you a list of different coins and things that are worth keeping your eyes on. So while it's very easy to get swept up in the emotion of what's going on across the markets, I advise that you try to remain calm and look at this from the other side. Try to see what the game is. You don't need to understand exactly the day whenever this is going to recover or whether it goes a little bit lower or a little bit higher in the short term. Simply, you need to understand the mechanisms that force people out the market down here and push people into the market up here. By understanding this, you're going to realize which side of the trade you need to be on, because it's not always the one that feels like the right one. Now, if the market is indeed about to heat up over the next few months ahead and we are ready to see more volatility returning again, then there's obviously lots of opportunity to be able to make some gains if you're interested in things like leverage trading. But leverage trading can be tricky. That's why we created this trading group with WEEX that allows users to sign up for WEEX, deposit $50, and then be able to access for absolutely free this trading group. Trading group is there to teach people how to trade, show people how to trade throughout these markets safely in order to be able to make some gains when the market volatility returns, and also provide various different trading signals. As you can see, the experts in there have been putting up a lot of winning signals over the past few weeks. So if you want to join that for absolutely free, then make sure you sign up to the WEEX link down below. Guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Do me a favor, hit the like button, leave a comment down below which coins you think have the ability to run back like Render. Looking forward to going over them in the next video. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not already. See you soon. Bye-bye.